Welcome back and all aboard. Welcome back to Houston Life. If the kids got back to school today and immediately you started thinking about your next getaway, you're not alone. And you'll be glad to know that cruise vacations are sailing once again. That's the horn.
That is the horn.
Yep.
Just for the record, travel expert Gabe Saglie is back on Houston Life today. 3 cruise deals worth checking out.
Yep.
Gabe, you always have the best advice, what to know before booking. Before we get into these destinations, let's talk about COVID, because there's still a million questions when it comes to COVID and cruising. It's different than the airline policies.
Well,
too.
you know, and I think cruising was one of the early casualties of COVID. I mean, it was one of the most hard-hit segments of the travel industry right from the get-go, and it's been dealing with an image issue ever since. Last month, the CDC dropped its cruise program, meaning a lot of those mandates are gone. Now it's up to the cruise lines to have requirements around things like COVID, vaccination requirements, negative test requirements, and it does shift from cruise line to cruise line, so you want to keep that in mind as you're choosing your next cruise. But overall, we're seeing this year numbers bounce back pretty quickly. By the end of the year, some of the big cruise lines are expecting capacity to be at almost 90 to 100%.
Wow.
Not on every single sailing, but we're seeing numbers now bounce back to what is reminiscent of pre-March 2020. We're expecting the industry as a whole to be back to pre-pandemic levels by 2024, but we're getting there pretty quickly.
You know, cruises are so popular for the retiree segment, population segment, also families with kids, because there's so many activities. You're in one place, you get to go to several different places. So I feel like the campaign is out. I'm seeing more and more commercials and all of this. This is the time to book, though.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that. And the message is out that this is one of the biggest sort of bang for your buck opportunities you're going to get in the travel industry. And you're right, families love this. Now, we did our first sort of family of 5 sailing a couple of weeks ago on the brand new Disney Wish. This is the 5th member of the Disney fleet, so a brand new ship. We were on the inaugural sailing.
It's beautiful.
Yeah,
Well,
it's huge.
every one of these sailings out of Port Canaveral stops at Castaway Cay. This is Disney's private island out in the Bahamas. So when you wake up on your first morning on the ship, this is what you get to do. You hang out in the Bahamas, and it's just a great sort of day trip. You can go back and forth under the ship if you like, but we had a great time here. There's my daughter Madeline. Yeah, we had a really a fantastic time. Disney's got 2 more cruise ships, by the way, that they are going to be dropping into the water over the next couple of years. So we're seeing more investment across all cruise lines. But yeah, this was a great bang for the buck. Obviously very themed here. So if you love Mickey, as my daughter Madeline does, then you're a happy camper. But for grown-ups, dining was fantastic. They've got adult-only sections of the ship. And again, if you really want that Disney experience, this is the way to go.
This was a work trip for you?
It was a work trip, Derek. That's right. It was recon all the way.
Nice office, Gabe.
Another themed dining experience. All righty, we can do that.
Let's talk about some of the deals. The Caribbean is a popular destination for a lot of cruisers.
And I think we're seeing people go back to tried and true in a lot of ways. People love the Caribbean, people love Alaska, but we're also looking for new things to do in some of these very popular ports of call. This is the Ruby Princess, which sails out of Galveston, so it's super easy to get to.
Oh, yeah.
7 nights for sailings in January and February, which is a great time to go to the Caribbean, for $4.99. So I did the math real quick. That's under $72 a night. That includes obviously all your entertainment and all the meals, and some great ports of call from the Bahamas to Cozumel and some of those tried and true Caribbean destinations. $149 gets your 3rd and 4th passengers on if you want to squeeze them into your cabin, by the way.
Wow.
But that's a fantastic sailing out of Galveston.
That is great, and it's so convenient. You don't have to worry about airline travel getting there. For us, it's just an easy drive. What about Panama Canal? You have something there too?
So this is, if you have a little bit more time, this is on the Holland America Eurodam, and this is a beautiful large ship, and it sails round to out of Fort Lauderdale, and it's 10 nights out there. You're hitting some of these great Caribbean destinations like Curacao and Bonaire. This is just a beautiful ship. 10 nights from $9.99, but the beauty is that it includes a $200 airfare credit to get you from Houston to Fort Lauderdale. So they're incentivizing you by giving you a little bit of money for your flight, and then you're out there at sea for 10 nights. There are also some 11 and 14 night options out there. So if you got a little time to spend out there, this is Holland America doing some nice nice job with these cruise ships. And again, this is the time of year where you'll start to see a lot of the sales on these sailings come out because kids are back at school. So folks who might have a little bit extra time, you're going to see some major incentives here over the next couple of weeks.
It looks like a 5-star hotel. And also, there's a Star Flyer in the Caribbean as well.
Yeah, so this is great. This is a sort of a really sexy way of doing the Caribbean. The Star Flyer, this is a beautiful masted vessel, only 170 passengers. So a very intimate way to do destinations like Dominica, St. Bart's, Nevis. These are islands that the large guys can't get into because these are smaller, more tucked away destinations. $9.99 gets you a week-long sailing on this beautiful ship. It sails out of St. Martin, so you got to get yourself out there.
Wow.
But just a phenomenal, and we've got sailings on the Travelzoo website. You can find sailings all the way through 2024. So again, intimate, just kind of a nice, sexy way of doing the Caribbean in a little bit of a, just a chicer way, if you will.
It is chic.
Yeah.
I want to do it all.
On that one.
I
The
know.
Star Flyer, it's what it's called. It's a great sailing.
It's beautiful. Gabe, thanks so much. It's always great to see you.
And good luck with your very boring job.
I know.
Sorry about that.
Where shall we go next, guys?
Wow, your office just stinks. Good to see you.
Good to see you guys. Thanks.
For a link to connect with Gabe, click on the Scene on Houston Life section of our website. Of course, that's houstonlife.tv.
He gets paid to go on cruises.
It's pretty good.
Yeah.